I want to share with you today the principle of legacy. Legacy is a principle that really applies to the past, the present, and the future. So I'll share from the present first, which is always the best place to understand legacy. So in the present moment is where you're always looking around to like, what kind of legacy are you creating? And this is where another principle called clear ground and hold space comes in. So in the present moment legacy, have you cleared your space to be able to listen to this video? Are you feeling grounded into the earth through your feet? Are you holding space for yourself? If you are participating in a meeting or a call or a conversation with another human, are you clear enough and grounded enough that you can hold space for somebody else? And so, by doing those kinds of things, you can create a present moment legacy where people feel heard. You could create a present moment legacy where you are holding space and you really understand how to hold your ground, no matter who is around you. That's always a present moment legacy at any time. The past is the legacy from which you've come from. So many of us have lots of different legacies. You may have a legacy around who your parents are, where they came from. My parents were Chinese immigrants, for example. So I have the legacy of immigrants. I have the legacy of hardworking immigrants. I have really interesting legacies also that's separate around finances. My grandfather was bankrupt at certain times when my father came over to Canada and the United States. So there's a very interesting legacy around money, which you may also relate to. Some people have legacies of abuse in their family. Some people have legacies of alcoholism, other components like that. So there's those particular pieces of family legacy. There's a legacy of how many siblings you have. There's the legacy of being an American citizen. Some of you might be Canadian. What is that legacy of your country? If you're a woman, the legacy of being female in the United States and in this time. There's all these really interesting legacies right now that we've been seeing in the current moment, particular to slavery and that 400-year legacy and the ramifications of not having cleared that particular legacy. The reason all these things matter is because what you're always doing at any time is choosing what your legacy is going into the future. And so if you are not clear on the legacies you come from, it's very difficult to be in choice about the legacies you are going toward. I always think of legacies as like if you're on a boat, there's a rudder, and the rudder is steering you in different directions. And so if you haven't cleared your legacies or gotten clear on the ones you want to bring forward and the ones you want to leave behind, you could be steered this way when in fact this is the direction you really want to go. So legacy is a really important place for us to start to examine and to look. Everything that you're participating in this course will start to steer you into the direction of what legacy that you want to create. How do you start to do that? How do you release the ones that don't work for you? How do you choose the ones that you are really excited to have in your life?